Less than 2 years after Obsidian Entertainment's Pillars of Eternity, the Fallout and South Park devs once again partner up with Paradox Interactive to bring us Tyranny, a computer role-playing game much in the same vein as the 2015 critical darling. Pillars of Eternity was somewhat of a hearkening of CRPGs of old, but does Tyranny extend on that foundation, or does it falter in the face of modern expectations? Tyranny places the player in the role of a fate binder, a judge of sorts that arbitrates under the will of the overlord Kairos. The fate binder's role is to make key decisions between the factions of the overlord's army and serve the overlord's will as he attempts to conquer the Tiers, a previously peaceful region that now finds itself on the brink of conquest. In this way, Tyranny places some typical RPG conventions on their head. You, the player, are now effectively working for the enemy. The people you interact with in the game are your future subjects. This leads to some interesting character interactions, and while there are still shades of morality as the player determines exactly how to carry out any individual goal, where the end result lies is more or less set in stone. The gameplay of Tyranny should feel very familiar to anyone that's played Pillars of Eternity. That is, combat takes place in real time with the capability to speed up, slow down, and even pause gameplay as you give your party specific movement or ability commands during any given encounter. The player will build a character of their choosing with their own selection of stats, abilities, and then come into contact with various companions with their own combat styles and specific histories. As would be expected in any Obsidian RPG, dialogue and character interactions are a huge part of the gameplay in Tyranny. Every companion and major NPC character will have a long list of dialogue options revealing their motivations, their wants and desires, and your history with and interactions with each of these characters will affect how they feel towards you, specifically to what degree they become loyal to your methods or end up fearing your motivations. While this may appear typical fare for this sort of game, Tyranny goes a step farther by introducing a large set of faction reputation. That is, that decisions made throughout the game will not only affect how your companions feel towards you, but also the armies that the player is working with and the countries you are trying to overtake. Even the army leaders, powerful NPCs known as Archons, will have a specific reputation with your character based on how you converse with them and how you undertake their various quests and live up to their expectations. The result is a very intricate web of trust and wrath between these various factions, where dialogue options truly feel meaningful and impact the flow of the game, including what abilities and locations become available to you. Gaining positive or negative reputation with any companion or faction will unlock abilities that reward the player for taking sides, so there is no real desire to try to please everyone. Some abilities will be passive bonuses that will support your party throughout the rest of the game, and some are active, powerful abilities that will aid you in combat. Specifically, companion reputation will unlock companion abilities that are powerful and can make even some of the toughest encounters far more manageable. However, the core gameplay of the game has a scope that feels a bit too limited to fully take advantage of these multiple systems. Maps are limited in size, dungeons are few in number, and the enemy variety is highly lacking. The result is that while the game offers a great multitude of systems to tailor the game to each player's fancy and to have a very unique experience each time through the title, the core gameplay loop ends up feeling a fair bit repetitive. To add insult to injury, the game also feels like it ends too soon, as if the ending takes place in the middle of an act rather than at its logical conclusion. Tyranny can be beaten in 24 hours of play or less for someone unfamiliar with the game, and likely a great deal faster for someone going through multiple times to see different choice outcomes or the result of aligning yourself with a different leader or faction. All in all, Tyranny is another great showcase for Obsidian's ability to create interesting worlds, fascinating characters, and a rich, thorough lore, but it finds itself feeling a little bit limited in scope when compared to other similar offerings, including their own Pillars of Eternity from last year. However, Tyranny does provide an interesting enough twist on the genre that fans of the developer, or of computers RPG in general, should definitely check it out. If you're interested in seeing more reviews, playthroughs, and other RPG related content, please consider subscribing to our channel, and as always, thank you for watching.